Hello everyone, Orinoco here, and I'm here to tell you today there's absolutely nothing going on. Nothing. I've got nothing going on. I'm not doing anything. It's pissing down with rain. However, I thought to myself, let's have a little look at this, whatever it is. What do you call this? It's an RC car of some description. A Q-Shorty, that's the one. Come to me in the end. This Q-Shorty thing from, who's it from? Rovan. That's it. Rovan Power. Thought I'd have a look at it because the last time I ran it, didn't have a look at it, stuffed it somewhere, there it is, and I noticed there's a pile of oil, a puddle of oil on the floor, and I thought to myself, where on earth has this puddle of oil come from? Because there's nothing that can be leaking any oil. You know, I thought maybe the petrol leaked out, but it weren't petrol, it was oil. And then it dawned on me, it popped into my head, I know what it is, the shocks. And one of the shocks, one of the rear shocks, is leaking. In fact, it's leaked. There's nothing left in it. It's bouncy, but I'm not going to care about that. We'll worry about that later on. That's a worry for the summer. I thought to myself, let's have a look at the battery, get the battery out, do that kind of stuff, give it a charge, make sure the battery's okay. And that's where we are. So let's have a look. And I made a few changes. So let me show you the changes that I've made. I know they do sell purpose-made products. Yeah. But I'm not paying those extortionate prices for them purpose-made products to fix the issues that I'm about to show you. Alright? Not paying them extortionate prices. You lot might do, but I don't pay those prices. Not at the moment anyway. Alright? So we just get by and do what we have to do without paying any company an extortionate price for a silly little bit of fabric. Alright, so let's have a look. Before anybody moans, the buzzing in the background is this battery charging. I'm currently reviving it. We're throwing a load of voltage and a load of amperages into it at the moment, trying to revive it. Come out my caravan, it died. It's not very good. I filled it up with rainwater and now we're charging it up. So that's what the buzzing is. So the first thing, I've been messing around with this, and the last time I ran this, I ran it and we went through some grass and there was a load of leaves because there was trees growing through the grass and the leaves went in there. Now there was this piece of plastic here used to live like that there, alright? That lives on there. Now what happens is them leaves go in there and they go around there and they just completely cover up all of this. Now a lot of people panic about this massively, like, oh my god. Now yes, there is a little fan in there, you can see it, part of the flywheel, and it does drag air in and cool and that kind of stuff, blows air around the engine and all that kind of stuff, because it's an air-cooled engine. However, it's not good anyway. You don't really want loads of these, but it's fine. Nothing I was particularly worried about. But then I realised that this piece of plastic is just held on by a couple of R-clips. A couple of R-clips and some little plastic pin things there that the R-clips go through. So I've removed it completely. And we'll just go without it. We don't need it. Yes, dirt will get up in there, but what do you expect? It's a bloody RC car. You know, these things are going to get dirty. So you can buy for an extortionate price. Don't know what they are. But I remember the last time I looked, I think they were something like £14, something like that, $14.99, something like that. And for a branded, like a Losi one or something like that, you're looking at stupid. I ain't paying that amount of money. But you can buy like a sock, they called it. I think they called it a sock. And a bit of fabric goes over here, and it just goes over that, but it's breathable, so the engine can still breathe through it, but it stops debris getting in there. Absolutely no need for that. You know, people buy them who like to buy branded stuff and like to have the looks, you know, but I don't care about looks. Looks are not something that I particularly care about. In fact, I think it looks quite cool like that. Anyway, the other thing, I took this cover off, took the air filter off obviously, took the cover off, and I took the battery out and I gave it a charge. But one of the things I noticed was, when you buy these brand new, they just stuff the battery in there and it starts to wear holes. You can see I put some bubble wrap around it. Now let me explain my thinking here. So you can see in there where the battery's been rubbing in that case. Now the battery does fit in there quite reasonably snug, but it rattles around, and this isn't unique to this Buggy thing. This problem happens in nitro cars with the receiver packs. That's why I always put a bit of foam around them and things like that. But as you can see here, because I'd never paid this any attention before, I literally bought it brand new and trusted the manufacturer to have designed something properly. However, the case is not true. So we started to rub through here on this positive wire that goes through here. It started to rub. Luckily it hasn't gone through the wire, but it's gone through the plastic heat shrinking of the battery and almost going through. See that if that was left to rub, that would go through that and probably not be any good. It could possibly cause a short on the battery. Start to rub there as well, and also rubbing along here. Now, oh, and then wires there, look, there's wires that go into the battery. So left, they would have kept vibrating away in there and rubbed through, and then you'd have battery problems. So what I always do with my nitros with the receiver batteries, this is exactly the same. Imagine this is exactly the same. This is a receiver battery. It's just on a bigger scale, and the engine's petrol, but the engine has nothing to do with the electronic side of things. Nothing. On the Savage Octane, the electrics do have something to do with the engine, because that engine hasn't got its own point system or anything like that. It's got a coil which is powered by a battery. Alright, but I know, because some people have said to me in the past, the engine does have a relation to the electrics, you know, because my Savage does. And I've had to explain that the Savage Octane, well, there might be other RC cars out there that have the same system, but I'm not aware of them. If they are, put them in the comments and we can all learn. But as far as I'm aware, the Savage Octane was the only RC car with a petrol engine that has an electronic coil powered by a battery pack. All the other petrol engines, all your 1/5 scales, your 5Ts, and all of them, these Rovan things, they've all got essentially a strimmer engine in them. These are the same sort of engines that you would find on a strimmer or a hedge cutter, a hedge trimmer, or not necessarily a chainsaw, but the chainsaw engines are very similar to this. They're not these types though, but they're basically, that's all they are. And they've got their own points and everything, so you can take this engine out, hold it in your hand, and it'll be running. You know, you don't need any electrical system for it, and none of this. Anyway, that explanation out the way. Where was I going? Right, yeah, so I always put like a piece of foam. In this case I found a nice piece of bubble wrap. And what happens is, not only does this protect the battery, because it's, you know, a piece of bubble wrap in between it, but it makes the battery fit in that compartment nice and snug. So there's less room, well, there's no room for it to move around and start to wear, you know, it's in there. And for those of you that are going to say to me, the battery might overheat, there's no way this battery will ever overheat unless there's a problem somewhere. Alright, because, I'll tell you why, it's a receiver battery, right? All it's powering is a receiver and a couple of servos, right? There's no strain on this 6-volt 2000 milliamp hour battery whatsoever on that. I don't care what anybody says. A receiver battery won't overheat. If this was on an electric car where it's drawing, I don't know, 60, 65, 70, 85, 90 amps, whatever, yeah, the battery needs to be out, it needs to have air going around it, because the battery's going to get hot. Yeah, having that amount of energy drawn out of it, the battery's going to get hot. Alright, so then you don't want to be covering your battery with cloth, foam, anything to keep heat in. You want the heat to go out. But with a receiver battery, quite the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but you don't want to keep it warm. But you don't, it doesn't matter. You know, so you can wrap this up in bubble wrap, foam, cloth, whatever you want, alright? To keep it nice and sturdy in there, so it's not rattling around, it's not wearing the battery casing away. Because trust me, I've been there, I've had it happen in my Savage, where the battery's been wobbling around. One day you've got no electric and you think, what's going on? Well, it's worn through one of the wires and it's become disconnected. So there we go. So I've wrapped that up. I'm going to put that back in there now, slot that back in there. I'm going to put all that case together, and I'm going to show you, I don't know what the point of this little thing is here. It doesn't seem to do anything whatsoever. It does nothing. I don't know what the point of that is. Just, I have no idea. Anybody knows what this little thing is for, just let me know. But the charger, which is this stupid Tamiya here, this is the charging cable for this battery. It was through here, and it was in the way of the air filter, or the air filter was in the way of it. So I'm going to try and put it through that one and see if that will be better, because then it will just poke out here rather than in the middle, and that way I won't get oily fingers when I try to charge it up with the air filter being on there. But I'm going to put that in now and see what happens. Well, bloody hell, look at that. I'll tell you what, that's a hell of a lot neater. I prefer it that way. I don't know why they stick it through there. Look, and the thing is, got the air filter on there. It's all oily because you've obviously oiled your air filter. The plug gets oily, and when you're trying to fanny around there to get your plug to charge up your battery, you get oily. Nah. So I've put it through there, look. And I don't care about waterproofness. Some of you are going to go, well, it's not waterproof now, is it? Because you've got that lifted up there, the water's going to get in. I don't give an uncle's monkey. And if you thought I did, you was mistaken. I don't care. But what you could do, probably could poke that in there a bit more. And then you could flap that over again. But I don't care about that. We'll think about that another day. It's not something that I care about whatsoever. You know, that will go in there like that. That would literally... If I was to use both hands, I could get that in there. There we go, I've done it now. Look. Get that in there, put that down. Happy days. You know, happy days. Anyway, that's a lot better. Sorted that out. So let's stick the air filter back on. And yeah, that's all I need to do. Put that. I don't know whether to put this back on or not. This piece of plastic. I mean, I kind of like the look of it like that, without the plastic. I think that looks pretty cool like that, to be honest. I've got to sort this shock out as well. It's a bit, well, it just bounces now. It's this one that's leaked everywhere. You see, obviously not very good quality, and it's just leaked all over the place. So this side's bouncy, that side's still got oil in it, but I'm not really worried about that, to be honest with you. I mean, let's be honest, well, they're good anyway. They were all right, but I think in the summer, when everything's more normal, I'll probably just buy a new shock, to be honest, a better one, like an upgraded. I wonder if they do upgrades. I have to have a look on the Rovan website, see if they do upgraded shocks. If they do, get upgraded ones. If they don't, I'll probably just buy like a rebuild kit for the seals and that and stick some more oil in it. Happy days. Yeah, you lot tell me, like, this is it without the plastic on, without the shell essentially, right? That's what it looks like now. Air filters on, this is it, completed, that's what it looks like. And then I'll put the shell on. And that's what it looks like with that plastic on there. Oh man, I think I like it without it. I think I'm going to take that off and leave it off, to be honest. And I know some of you are going to say, well, you've taken the bottom off, but look, now you've got that going around it. Yeah, but the thing is, any dirt and leaves that end up in there, they won't be sitting in a tray, will they? They'll fall down. But to be honest, I think I prefer it without it. I think it looks better without the plastic on. Get rid of this. I'm still going to keep it, right? But I think I'll just run it without. That looks really cool like that. Sort of open plan, do you know what I mean? Open plan, man. Yeah, that's the way forward, I reckon. That's definitely the better look. These engines as well, I think, well, I had a 50cc one on a petrol scooter. That's basically, you know, like a scooter, like you put your feet on it, don't you, and you scoot yourself along, but with a petrol engine on the back. They were great fun as kids. We used to go around the street, you know, go around the woods. I had a mate who had one with a fixed wheel, and you know, the wheel was directly driven by the engine, so you couldn't stop and have it tick over. You'd have to stop, and then if you want it to go again, you have to run, jump on it, and then it bump starts it, and then off you go. That was a racing scooter, that was. They don't stop when they're racing. Had a little spindle. Oh, it had another one as well. It had a spindle. So one was direct drive, and the other one had a spindle, and it had rubber tyres, solid rubber tyres, and had a spindle that come off of the engine, and you could adjust the tension on it, and the spindle, like, was spinning. So this is from the engine. The spindle was spinning on the tyre. That's what drove it. That was alright, but the only trouble is, if we ever went out and it rained, it wouldn't go nowhere because it wouldn't grip on the wheel. It was only for like sunny days or whatever, but my one was a Bigfoot. Had proper blow-up rubber tyres on it, and we went everywhere, man. We went everywhere. Bloody brilliant petrol scooters. Yeah, really good times with them. But there you go. So these engines, they can be used on many, many different things, but if you get one of these, definitely think about having a look at the battery. If you get anything, actually, it's not just a lesson for these, it's a lesson for anything. Nitro, you know, make sure the battery isn't rattling around in the what's it, because in the case, because it'll just wear a hole in it, man. You don't want that to happen, do you? You don't want to wear your battery away. I mean, batteries are expensive, so you want to look after it, man. I started this up for months, a few months. It's got to be maybe 4 or 5 months this ain't ran for, so it ain't got a lot of petrol in it. Don't know where the throttle's set to either. It's probably set wide open. Is it? No, it should be. There we go. We'll try it without the choke.
Is that a dream?
Sounds like a dream, that thing. Couldn't ask for better than that. Bit smoky in here though, because what's happened is the petrol's evaporated but left all the oil behind in the tank. So man, runs like a dream. Perfect little buggy. Not bad really when you think about the price of them compared to like a low C or something like that, or even a HPI. Them prices are stupid. Don't know how they can justify that. But there we go. I'm going to keep all these bits of plastic. I'll put them somewhere and label them up so that I know what they are, because I dare say in the future at some point I probably want to put the plastic back on anyway. I tend to go through phases. One minute I like it, something like that, and the next minute I go along and I'm like, oh, I haven't used that in a while, I know what I do, I'll put the plastic back on, that looks nice like that, blah blah blah. So I'm not going to get rid of the plastics or anything like that, but I think that looks pretty cool without them. So there we go, you lot have a nice happy day. I've not got a lot going on. I wanted to take out that Lightning GTX2 today, but it's been raining all day and it's still spitting out there now. Trying to take advantage of, I've not got any work at the moment, so I'm just getting stuff done, you know, trying to use my time wisely. Don't want to waste my life, you know what I mean, while I'm sitting at home waiting for work to pop up. But it's just raining everywhere, you know, and I don't want to go and get that thing covered in mud or anything at the park or with the car park and everything. Plus, it's just people everywhere. So hopefully it will stop raining, and then the next couple of days I can take that twin engine, that Lightning GTX2 out, and actually give it a proper blast. I've got it running sweet on the stand now. They tick over together, they rev together. Whether they will drive together, I don't know. I've had people say to me, do this, do that. Listen, I don't care, because it's not a tuning problem. You know me, you lot know me by now. Engines don't faze me at all. I don't give an uncle's monkey about what an engine does, what an engine is this, what an engine is that. They both need to be ran, yeah, and they'll get better, and then I can mess around with some tuning. I don't believe at the moment, from listening to them and looking at them, there's nothing wrong with the tune, I don't think. It's just a fact that they've been sitting around for 10 years, you know. They need to be, I don't know, but I know what I mean, but I don't know how to explain it to you lot. I'm looking at it down there now, and it's smiling at me, do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's go. I'm like, it's not, it's raining, man. And the car's like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, but it's raining, I don't want to get you wet, you know. And it's just, it's waiting, you know. It's like, yeah, let's go. Anyway, see you later. Have a lovely day. Treat everyone equally. Love life. Treat people how you want to be treated. And, you know, we'll all get along nicely, hopefully. So cheerio, everyone.